Ladies and gentlemen, the American German Bulldog Nation, welcome to the Eric Deters Show. As always, we're sponsored by Deters Consulting, Parks Yoga. Check us out on all of our platforms. Well, John Kerry says there should be no coal plants any place in the world as he jets around. I hate these people. I loathe these people. They're loathable. In a California lake, it's kind of like called the Salt Sea or something like that, they have found apparently enough lithium for 325 million EV cars. It's a lot of lithium. Hamas hostage treatment. The hostages are saying how bad they were mistreated. They weren't treated according to the Geneva Convention. All the reports are coming out. Trump, in the latest poll, 60% to DeSantis, 12%. Yet they all stay in the race. By the way, that's starting to change a little bit. Other people, and I'm going to get to the stories in a minute, are realizing it's time to stop all the craziness. China gets around, according to James Comer, with their political influence through loans. A loan from China. Hey, China, give me a call. I could use a loan. Cuban spy. Can't make it up. He was an ambassador to Cuba. Manuel Rocha. For us. Spying for Cuba. Unbelievable. The highest generals in our military claim that we should be worried about war with China. Well, what the hell are we doing about it? Nothing is what we're doing about it. All right, Kraft got hit with a $17.7 million verdict. Why? Apparently conspiring to elevate the price of eggs. Harry and Archie's godfather. They're not invited to the wedding. The godfather's a billionaire over in England, but he's choosing sides. It's William and Kate, not Harry and Meghan. And he's Archie's godfather. The money supply keeps shrinking. The American money supply, that's bad. It's not going to end well, folks. A postal worker is pleaded guilty to stealing $170,000 in cash. Guess he opened up the envelopes, boxes. If it wasn't cash, he didn't take it. Cancer treatment apparently can cause cancer. How do you like that? We finally have a cure, but now that cancer treatment could cause cancer, says the FDA, so maybe we shouldn't believe them. There has been a surge, according to a medic, in heart issues with pilots related to the COVID vax. Scary stuff. Independents, according to Frank Luntz, who I cannot stand, the pollster, that the rise of people willing to vote and support independents candidates is growing. That's good to hear. James Comer says the impeachment might go forward because when all the congressmen go back and talk to Walmart folks, the Walmart folks are telling them to impeach. Trump went to Iowa and let it rip. He gave it to Reynolds, the governor. He gave it to everybody. Trump has narrowed Biden's lead in Virginia. Trump said in Iowa that if Jesus and God was on his side, he'd even win blue states. Pfizer. Apparently, New Zealand, a lot of reports coming out that Pfizer's vaccine is hurting people in New Zealand. Gutfeld took a shot at his boss, said if you don't understand how advertisers control things, he brought up Tucker. Santos is spilling dirt on all those that tried to oust him, although the dirt doesn't seem very good. Come on, give me something on Massey. Newsom's wife's apparently pulled the plug on the debate, apparently yanked him up and said, we're done. The debate was apparently going to keep going. Somebody's apparently going to testify that Mar-a-Lago is worth $750 million. Folks, I've been to Mar-a-Lago, all on the grounds and everything else, and it's obviously in a great place. And I know people pay crazy amounts of money, but I just don't get it. It's an old, old building. What's the real estate worth? I don't know. Hamas hostages. We don't know how many still alive. Hamas says it's not important. Nuts. This is great, man. Don Jr. says Fox is giving a all-year-long lap dance to Ron DeSantis. I liked it. Cigna and Humana might merge. You think good will come out of that? Hell no. The Ohio GOP's endorsed Trump. This is what I was alluding to before. The Ohio GOP says it's time to unite around Trump. This is going to go on and on and on. It's going to start cascading. Borrowing to pay interest. We are now borrowing money to pay our interest. Fetterman wants Martinez impeached or expelled. Denver's mayor's car's been stolen. Nothing like crime in the big city. China ban. Republican senators are calling for a ban on China travel now. What are you going to do, Joe? Maureen O'Connor, I can't believe I said Maureen O'Connor. Sandra Day O'Connor, the Supreme Court Chief Justice, retired, but died. May she rest in peace. Justice Smollett lost his appeal. He's probably headed to jail. And Derek Chauvin, the guy that stabbed him, was an FBI informant. Stabbed him 22 times. This is the Bulldog. Every dog has their day. Have a great day. Gentlemen, the American jury and Bulldog Nation, welcome to the Eric Deters Show. Local news sponsored by Deters Consulting, Parks Yoga. Check us out on all of our platforms. Well, Danny Freitag went into a bank, Fifth Third Bank, handed him a note, said, please give me your money. I actually feel sorry for the guy. Guess what? He gets busted. He gets arrested. He's 26 years old, apparently. Guess how much he got? $800. Now he's facing federal bank robbery charges. Abigail Schlegel is going to trial down in Grant County. Trial starts this week. She was a teacher of apparently a special needs kid, and she twisted his ear. And it made him cry, and he apparently has ear issues anyway. They filed criminal charges against her. I don't know. Part of it makes me think, oh my God, criminal charges, but then I think, man, sounds kind of bad. Abigail, what are you doing? I wonder if Abigail's in a relation to Todd Schlegel, who was married to my cousin. John Dalton has got the living hell beat out of him by Jonathan Maskiell, and he died. This is him hooked up. Deanna Dennison and Paul Hill filed a lawsuit against the Kenton County Jail over this, and they basically are arguing that they knew Maskiell was trouble and they shouldn't have put Dalton in a cell. Can you imagine being put in a jail cell of somebody that was scaring the hell out of you? That'd be scary. Kevin Barnett been arrested for beating the hell out of somebody in an apartment. Kevin. This was down in good old Kentucky. George Fetters, sad, murder-suicide in Florence. They were in their 70s. Wonder what the hell that was all about. Eliza Phillips was shot and killed outside of an Oakley Target by somebody else, another gangbanger. And guess what? They're suing for $50 million. Oakley Target. I don't get that. All right, local news. Perfect North Slopes opened up this weekend. Did you go? St. E's and Bashir had the opening of some Journey Life Learning Center thing. Bashir and St. E's Medical Center. Married at the hip. Jimmy's Roller Dome is celebrating 75 years. Have you ever gone to Jimmy's Roller Dome?
No, I haven't. No.
You're missing a real treat. Get out there and roller skate. Peacocks right down the street got their statue back. Apparently the social media hoorah spread the word and they got it back. Scott High School was dismissed early Friday for some fumes from a construction site. That's a bunch of happy kids. Ron Washington, vice mayor of Covington, has announced he's running for mayor. In Kentucky news, Russell Coleman has named Kevin Crowd, who was his communication director, to his communication directory of his attorney general's office. Kentucky candidates are filing left and right. We'll give you a full list as soon as the book is closed. Dr. Dana Edwards is filed against Hal Rogers. I can make a comment or two, but I won't. Governor versus the legislature. The Kentucky Court of Appeals says yes, the governor can sue the legislature. Brenda Monterez, Lexington City Council, missed 27 meetings, still running for re-election. In Ohio news, the bus in that crash apparently had a bunch of violations as well. So we got the trucks got violations, the bus got violations, everybody's violated. And the Ohio GOP's endorsed Donald Trump. Wise move. This is the Bulldog. Every dog has their day. Have a great day.
Happy Monday, guys. You're watching Eric Deters World News. I'm Jamie Spinley with the latest headlines. A German man has died and a British man was among two people injured in a knife attack in central Paris. The German tourist was killed a few minutes away from the Eiffel Tower over the weekend. The suspect was then chased by police and assaulted 2 others, including the Briton with a hammer, before being tasered and arrested. 4 people, including 2 children, have been killed by a relative in New York. Those stabbed to death included a 12-year-old boy, an 11-year-old girl, a 44-year-old woman, and a man in his 30s. Officers were called to report of an incident in Queens after a girl said her cousin is killing her family members. The suspect, Courtney Gordon, 38, was shot dead by police. At least 11 climbers have been killed and 22 are believed to be missing after a volcano erupted in Indonesia. Officials said the bodies were recovered on Mount Marapi this morning, a day after it started spewing smoke and ash. And an explosion during a Catholic mass in Maori killed 4 people and injured dozens more. It's believed it could be the work of a militant affiliated group with the Islamic State. That's the headlines. Until tomorrow, thank you for watching. Cheerio.
Ladies and gentlemen, the American cheering Bulldog Nation, welcome to Sports Without Boundaries, where the lead story is obvious, isn't it? Michigan, Washington, Texas, and Alabama are the final 4 teams. You know, there's 5 power conferences. 5. So the committee had to pick which team should they pick. Well, Michigan, undefeated, beating Ohio State, obviously should have stayed number 1 after the events of this past Saturday. They make Washington number 2. By the way, in my opinion, the Pac-12 is weak. I've watched some of these Washington games. They have barely beaten Pac-12 teams. Texas will destroy Washington. Texas was picked 3rd. Now, I want everybody to know that I think Texas, after Florida State, should have been the next team out. Let me explain. Texas has boasted about their win against Alabama. Fine. But who did Texas lose to? Bama lost to Texas. Texas lost to Oklahoma. In other words, the Oklahoma loss by Texas is worse than Bama's loss to Texas. So everybody gets all worked up about. Now, the SEC, Bama was picked 4th. They beat Georgia, number 1. They have 1 loss to Texas. Do you know who's in the SEC, folks? UK beat Louisville 2 weeks ago. UK is bottom tier SEC. Louisville played in the ACC championship game, lost 16-6. No offense. Florida State has a very good defense, granted. But the ACC this year, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Clemson, way down. Notre Dame, way down. They started off hot, but they weren't. Now, let's talk about the SEC. You got to play Georgia, LSU, Texas A&M, Ole Miss. You catch my drift? And you know what? Even the bad SEC teams are tough. Florida. Oh, Missouri. I forgot about Missouri. Give me a break. The SEC is the best guy. In the Big Ten these days, there's 2 teams. Michigan, Ohio State. It's always Michigan, Ohio State. For a while there, Wisconsin might have a good team. Then they fall back. It's Penn State, same thing. It's Michigan and Ohio State. I mean, SEC is stronger, deeper. And you know what? The Michigan players were seen on video, not very excited about Alabama, because guess what happens when an SEC team plays a big, other than Urban Meyer had a team that beat Bama. This is what happens. The speed kills them. Now, Alabama's going to beat Michigan, just so you know. Alabama is going to beat Michigan. They're going to win the national championship. Texas will beat Washington, and the rematch will be between Texas and Alabama. Just to let you know, the first game being played will be Washington and Texas on New Year's Day, and Michigan and Alabama is the last game, and it's the Rose Bowl. So anyway, the Sugar Bowl, Washington, Texas is the Sugar Bowl. January 8th is the national championship. All right, Georgia is going to play Florida State in the Orange Bowl. Georgia will crush them. UK is going to play Clemson in the Gator Bowl. Clemson will crush UK. FC loses to Columbus. They were up 2-0 and blew it, Jamie Spinley. They're out of it. You know the next Cincinnati team that's going to win a championship? The Reds. UC is now 7-0. They beat East Florida Gulf Coast. By the way, the Bengals, I can't believe I forgot to put this in. The Bengals are going to play Monday Night Football, folks, tonight. You think they're going to win, Josh Wentz? I doubt it too. Miami won the MAC conference. That's a big deal. Congratulations to the Miami Redskins. In football yesterday, the big games, Packers beat the Chiefs 27-19. Colts, by the way, Simone Biles was there with her husband, Jonathan Owens, a safety of the Packers. A lot less fanfare than take because Kelsey was there wearing Brittany Mahomes' red jacket. Colts 31, Titans 28. You Indiana fans. Rams 36, Browns 19. 49ers 42, Eagles 19, Cardinals 24, Steelers 10. So the Browns and Steelers lost. Come on, Bengals. UK lost at home to Wilmington, North Carolina. Unfreaking believable. The big difference, I guess, is Wagner was out with an ankle injury. Maybe they need him that bad. But I still say Calipari could screw up an anvil. All right, Lou Piniella does not make it into the Hall of Fame. Leland from the Pittsburgh Pirates did make it. Lou didn't make it by one vote from the committee. Matt McClain says he's all healed up and ready to go. The Reds won the Major League Baseball Community Service Award. Yay, yay, yay. Marte is hurt. He's out of winter ball, but he's going to be okay by opening day. Reds Fest was this weekend. Did you go? I didn't either. Ella De La Cruz says he's ready to play any position. Put him in center field. Can you imagine having his speed and his arm and his height in center field? Nick Lododo and Graham Ashcraft, both hurt this past year, both going to be ready. I'm excited about the Red season. In fact, I think I'm going to buy season tickets, Josh Wentz. All right, in high school football in Kentucky, Pikeville was over Raceland. Covington Catholic fell to Boyle County, not Foyle, Boyle County. They got walloped 41-0. Boyle County, which is down in Danville, recruits. Covington Catholic recruits too. Cooper lost to Bowling Green in the 5A tournament. Trinity beat Bryan Station in 6A. Christian Academy over Bell County in 3A. And Owensboro Catholic lost to Mayfield in 2A. The number one wide receiver in college or high school football, wide receiver Coleman, has flipped from Texas A&M to Auburn. Corey Perry of the Blackhawks is off the Blackhawks, has been accused of boinking Connor Bedard's mom. They both say it's completely ridiculous, but it got some traction on the internet. He probably took him under the wing, went over to the house one day, and the next thing you know, he's boinking his mom, who's very hot but also married. All right, SEC did not allow liquor at the SEC tournament or SEC championship game, and fans were pissed off. You know what? I think that was a good move. C.J. Stroud, the Houston Texan quarterback, dogged Houston women. He says they're not L.A. women. C.J., you're going to be in trouble down there. You're going to have all these women going. Roger Goodell wants to get rid of the tush push. Why?
Get rid of some penalties.
I mean, I don't. XFL, USFL is merging. Who cares? Jason Witten coached his son's high school team to a 2A parochial school Texas championship. How you like that? Ohio State fans are so obnoxious, apparently they scared away a recruit and might be scaring away other recruits. There's apparently some recruits that don't like their fans. How you like that? All right, Greenlaw got kicked out of the game last night for fighting with Eagle security officer. Isn't that wild? And Dion Hunter and Tracy Edmonds have broken up. I tell you right now, she was Eddie Murphy's girl, Dion's girl. She's beautiful. Isn't she pretty? Sorry, they apparently did it with love. So good for them. This is the Bulldog. Every dog has their day. Go Jake Browning. Ladies and gentlemen, the American jury and Bulldog Nation, welcome to Pop Culture. Well, Taylor Swift did go to the Kansas Green Bay Packers game in Lambeau Field, wore Brittany Holmes' red coat. She couldn't afford one of her own. But they lost. Who won? Well, Simone Biles was there rooting on her Jonathan Owens safety husband of Green Bay, and they won. Less fanfare around Simone. Now just think, there's a lot of talent there too. Nick Cannon takes all 12 of his kids to Disneyland, and when he does, it costs him $200,000. Nick Cannon, by the way, says he wears contraceptives, and he still has these kids. He's one potent dude. He breaks through. This is some saucy news, baby. Sarah Palin transformed herself into like a jockette, into a governor and a hot goddess. Well, Glenn Rice claims in his book he partook of Sarah Palin, and Sarah Palin liked it. This was apparently like 8 months before she got married to Todd. Sarah's a little saucy thing. Woo-hoo-hoo. Charles Barkley and Shaquille O'Neal are calling Glenn Rice their hero because they've got something for old Sarah Palin. All right. Jane Fonda, who is 85 and has had more surgeries than Jamie Spinley has had kidney stones, says she doesn't like old skin and won't date any guy over 20. So can we assume then, because she doesn't want to violate the law, Jane Fonda only dates 18, 19, and 20-year-olds at 85? Can you imagine some of these youngsters? They go home and say, hey, Dad, I just shagged Jane Fonda. They go, and the dad says, who's Jane Fonda? So then he has to go to his grandparents and say, hey, Grandpa, I shagged Jane Fonda. Oh, really? Good for you.
I thought she was dead.
Because their dads won't even know. Unbelievable. Harry and Meghan are out of Archie's godfather, this billionaire in England's wedding. I mean, they are getting completely persona non grata. It's what happens when you open your mouth like that. All right, in Jeopardy, you can't make this up. These nerds couldn't recognize that this band was Led Zeppelin. Now, I can recognize this is Led Zeppelin. You think you could recognize the Beatles, the Stones, Led Zeppelin, Queen? Yeah, you know, the biggest bands. Come on. Those nerds. Beyonce's Renaissance made $21 million at the box office and was #1. Tiffany Haddish has gotten her second DUI. She's a very funny comedian. She's even incorporating her DUIs into her show. Kiss finished their show out at Madison Square Garden, sold out, and guess what they're going to do? They're going to continue touring as avatars. A housewife and mother woke up from a coma after 5 years.
Wow.
Isn't that wild? That's wild. Jenny Dell, the sideline reporter for the big game between Georgia and Bama, apparently has said that she wanted to be a Sports Illustrated swimsuit model. Jenny, I think you qualify. Red Bull Air Mark Matsasitz just received a dividend check of $800 million. This guy right here is the sole heir of Red Bull. $800 million dividend check. It's insane. Aquaman's bombing at the box office. I like it because Jason Momoa is woke. Cher says she still loves Val Kilmer. They had a little bit of fling. Cher went from hot to horse face. Her and Marjorie Green Taylor. I'm mean, aren't I? I don't like Cher. She's woke. Remember, she's always wanting to leave the country. Yeah. Kelly Pickler, Kyle Jacobs killed himself. His family is subpoenaing her electronic record, wants to see what the record shows. Kelly Pickler's hot. Gloria Allred is now representing the little girl that's involved in the Josh Giddey thing. Apparently, it was one night. She claimed to be 19. Boom, boom, boom. Gloria Allred will get her a few bucks, though, from Josh Giddey. NBA's letting him play based upon what they know. All right, Roger Waters' son, he gets fired from his dad's band. This is Pink Floyd. So he's gone out and he's playing Pink Floyd cover band, and he still doesn't know why his dad fired him. Maybe his dad didn't like his red beard. He looks like somebody from Games of Thrones. There was a missing Botticelli painting that was found in somebody's house in Italy. Guess what it's worth, Jamie?
About 1.5 million.
$109 million.
Wow.
Go home and look in your attic for anything you can maybe find. Your house, you never know. No, I don't think he left anything behind except troubles for you. He's got one of those, what are they called? Houses that have a hole. What's it called? I forget what it's called. Vanilla Ice. This is hysterical. Vanilla Ice says he hung out with Pablo Escobar, but they were buddies for a while. It's scary, scary. I'd like to just see that scene. It's almost like Eddie Murphy playing basketball against Prince.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, man, this is weird. Sebastian Stan is going to played Tommy Lee, is now going to play Donald Trump, the young Donald Trump. Red Lobster endless shrimp cost him $11. People took advantage of that, baby. Endless shrimp, they're cutting them off. All right, Bud Light's coming back. You know why? Because Emmett Smith and Peyton Manning are going to do a commercial. Everybody likes Peyton Manning. Everybody will start buying Bud Light. Peyton Manning will save Bud Light. This is sick. Mackenzie Phillips, John Phillips of the Mamas and Papas, had a 10-year incestual relationship with his daughter, including oinking her on her wedding day. I mean, deviant, sick crap. She says she forgives him. I mean, that stuff belongs in Greek and Roman history, not here. King Charles is a blech. You ready for this? Apparently, he requires his toothpaste to be rolled out exactly 1 month, or one inch. You ready for this? He irons his shoelaces. Told about disconnect. This is the Bulldog. Every dog has their day. Have a great day.